Hey there. All right. So, someone asked me a while ago to make a video talking about NBA trivia. Now, the reason it's taken me a little while to make this video is because, most importantly, I don't know anything about the NBA. I don't watch the NBA personally, so I don't know like any of the. I literally don't know like anything about it. I mean, I understand the fundamentals of basketball, sure, but like the intricacies, like team names, player names, other than the big ones like Shaquille O'Neal and like Kobe Bryant and stuff like that. Like I don't know anyone, so I had to look up stuff. The other reason is because I don't, I use my phone to record, and my computer's over here. I can't really see it while I'm recording, so I don't have a good way of you know, like I can't use the internet while I record, so I can't just like look up trivia and then read it off of like a website and just say it to you. So I had to write down a bunch of trivia facts that I found. And we're going to talk trivia. We're going to talk fun facts and trivia about NBA because someone asked for it. So here we go. This is for you. You know who you are. Yeah, this is just going to be kind of like just a relaxing talkative video, kind of like a ramble, I guess, but instead of me rambling about random stuff, I'm going to be rambling about the NBA. So here we go. All right. I guess I'll just start at the top. I probably shouldn't skip around because then I'll just get confused. So anyway, I'm a little worried that this video might be a little shorter than normal because I didn't write down a bunch of things. There were a lot of like trivia questions that like I didn't think they would work super well in an ASMR video just because of like how they were structured. I don't know. Anyway, so the first, and I guess I had to kind of like abbreviate things so that I could make it fit on this piece of paper, but I'm going to try to figure out what I meant when I wrote these. All right. I think this means that NBA, like not the sport of basketball, but the NBA was made. Or oh, okay, I think this means the first NBA game was played in the year 1946. 1946. That was quite a while ago. We're kind of, I mean, not like super close, but we're kind of close to the 100-year anniversary of that, which is interesting. The first African American NBA player was Chuck Cooper. Chuck Cooper. Chuck Cooper. Chuck Cooper. I don't know who that is, but apparently he was the first African American NBA player. Chuck Cooper. Chuck Cooper. Chuck Cooper. The team that made it to the finals more than any other team is the LA Lakers, the Los Angeles Lakers. The Lakers. Yeah. Also, like I said, I don't know anything about the NBA, so like some of these could be blatantly false. Like I just copied what was on the website. So, I mean, if they got it wrong, then I'm going to get it wrong. I don't know enough myself to like fact check them. So, yeah. If there's a mistake, then that's more on them than it is on me. So, yeah, take it up with them, I guess. The most three-pointers made by a single player in one series was made by Steph Curry. And I don't know how many it was. I don't think it was listed on the website. It just said that he did it. So Steph Curry made the most three-pointers in one series. Steph Curry. The first NBA championship win of all time. So I guess in the year potentially 1947, if the first NBA game was played in 1946, because I think it's like a school year where, it goes between 2 years, Anyway, The first NBA championship win was made by the team, the Philadelphia Warriors. The Philadelphia Warriors won the first ever NBA championship. So that's kind of cool. I don't know if it would be cool to win the first championship or not cool, you know? I guess it would be cool, but like the argument against it is like, well, it was the first time it had been like played, you know? So it's like, is it that crazy of it? Like the competition probably wasn't as high at that point because like the sport was up and coming, you know? I don't know. Technically, like this says, the first NBA game was played in 1946, and I have another one down here where it says basketball was invented in 1891. So basketball as a sport had been around for like 50 years at that point. So potentially there was a good amount of competition even during that first time. I don't know. I think it would probably still be cool to have won the first ever championship. I skipped ahead there a little, but we'll double back to that in a bit. All right. The shortest ever player to win a slam dunk contest. The shortest player to win a slam dunk contest was Spud Webb. 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 And he was 5'6". 5'6". 5'6". 5'6". That's pretty crazy. He must have been able to jump pretty high. The first ever player to get 2 consecutive back-to-back MVP awards. So like he won MVP one year and then the next year he won it again. The first player to do that was Bill Russell. Bill Russell. Bill Russell. Yeah, like I said, I don't know really who any of these people are. Like I know I've heard of Steph Curry. I don't really know, like I wouldn't be able to pick him out of like a lineup, but I've heard the name. Never heard of Spud Webb, never heard of Chuck Cooper, never heard of Bill Russell. But apparently they're pretty good at basketball. The first Rookie of the Year, the first recipient of the Rookie of the Year award was Don Meineke. Don Meineke, I think is how you say his name. Don Meineke was the first ever Rookie of the Year. Rookie of the Year. There you go. So I guess that's like MVP, but only if you're like new to the sport. I don't know. Now we've just got some like random facts. So the hoop is 10 feet. It's at 10 feet high. The hoop in the NBA is 10 feet high, 10 feet tall. So earlier we talked about Spud Webb winning the slam dunk contest, and he's 5'6". But I mean, you imagine he's going to have his arm up. So I mean, how long is your arm? Your like wingspan is your height, right? So like half of your height, so half of 5'6" would be 2.5 feet, 2 feet 6 inches plus 3 inches, so 2 feet 9 inches. But then you gotta subtract like your shoulder width, which is maybe like, I don't know. We'll say maybe like a little under 2 feet. So with his arm fully extended, he would be like, I don't know. No, because that wouldn't, yeah, no, that doesn't make sense. We'll say he was like, I mean, even if you put it up to like 7 feet, right? He can reach 7 feet up. That would mean he still has to jump 3 feet, which is really impressive. Yeah, anyway. I don't know. I can't do math. Um, it takes six. It takes six personal fouls. Six personal fouls to be ejected from a game. Six personal fouls to be ejected from a game. All right, this is the one we talked about earlier, but basketball as a sport was invented in 1891. I'm assuming this means like modern basketball because I feel like basketball is pretty similar to that one sport that you learn about in every history class that like the ancient Greeks used to play where they were in like a trench and then they had the hoops on the wall of the trench and they would like throw a rock through the hoop and they were always naked. Um, yeah, I think that's kind of like the origin point of basketball, but I guess what they mean is like modern basketball with like, you know, the way it's played today. Because, they typically don't play naked or in a trench for that matter. Um, but yeah, I mean, that would have been a long time ago though. I mean, sports in general. I mean, how many variations of sports can you do, right? So they're all kind of similar in a way. Um, Basketball became an Olympic sport. The first time basketball was in an Olympics like game, was 1936. 1936. So actually, I'm just now realizing that was before the NBA it became a thing. So basketball was in the Olympics before the NBA was formed. I don't know if like basketball was played professionally before the NBA was formed. Obviously, in reference to America specifically, it might have been played professionally in other countries before it was played in America via the NBA. I don't know. When I think of basketball, I do think of America, but I am American. Um, I don't know. I guess it's potentially not the most American sport. I guess baseball is the most American sport. I think like if you asked people like what do you think is the most American sport, they'd probably say baseball. Although you have like American football, which literally has American in the name, but that's only because we just call it football, but then that's really confusing because other places call football what we call soccer. Because you play with your feet. Which I watched a video about why we call it soccer and everyone else calls it football. And it has to do with the fact that like soccer is an abbreviation of like the word association. Because if you look at the word association, there's like sock in there. And it had something to do with like, it was kind of like the old switcheroo, kind of like with like the metric and the imperial system where like the Europeans they made the imperial system and then they like switched back to the metric system. It was like the Europeans made the word soccer and then they were like actually let's go back to calling it football, but then Americans just continued to call it soccer, I guess. I don't know. um what was I talking about? Most American sport. I don't know. I think you'd probably just get a lot of random answers depending on what that particular person was most interested in. Um, if a person is really into basketball, they'd probably tell you that basketball is the most American sport. But on average, I don't know. I mean, baseball is pretty American. It's like quintessential American. I mean, American football has been around for a while and it is pretty ingrained in American culture. But, um, yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say. Hard to say. I don't know. Let's continue on with the NBA facts. NBA facts. Now this one is possibly not true anymore because I think the website I got it from was really old, like mid 2000s old. I'm not sure, but it said that Kobe Bryant was the youngest player to reach 10,000 points um, in one series or one season or something like that, I guess. or maybe it was overall. I don't know. Um, like I said, I could only write so much for each one. Um, so I kind of had to abbreviate, so I'm not exactly sure. But apparently he got a lot of freaking points, bro. Um, yeah, that's why we all say Kobe when we throw something. Um, Isaiah Thomas uh, had the most steals in one season. Most steals in one season. Now, it had in parentheses after his name, it had the number 20. And I don't know if that means that he got 20 steals in one season and that's like the most steals ever gotten, or if it means that he was 20 years old when he got like that title of most steals. I'm not sure. So it's one or the other. Potentially 20 steals in one season. I don't know, that almost kind of seems low, but at the same time, when you watch a basketball game, I feel like you don't see steals happen all that often. So, yeah. It's mostly just like they shoot and then they'll miss and then the other team gets the rebound and so they'll go back and forth like that. You don't really see steals happen. I don't know. I don't watch a ton of basketball, like I've said. But of the games I have watched, I don't remember seeing many steals. So maybe it was just 20 in one season. I'm not sure. The teams with the most MVP awards. I guess this is, I think there's like player MVPs and then maybe team MVP, or maybe they're just saying like the teams that had players that got the most MVP awards were these teams. And apparently it's tied between the LA Lakers and the Boston Celtics. Those are the two teams that have the most MVP awards. So yeah, there you go. Apparently those teams have good players. The first woman on a NBA coaching staff was Becky Hammon. Becky Hammon. The first MVP and the first person to get an MVP and Rookie of the Year award in one season was Wilt Chamberlain. So he got MVP and Rookie of the Year in the same season. So earlier I was talking about how Rookie of the Year is like MVP, but only if you're a rookie. So I guess you can get both. I don't know. I guess he was just a damn good player. Wilt Chamberlain. Again, I don't know who that is, but apparently he can play basketball very well. The most points in one game by a single player was, again, Wilt Chamberlain. And apparently he got 100 points in one game, single-handedly. Which is pretty crazy considering, like, I've seen games that, end up with, like, lower than 100 points. I don't know. Like I said, I don't watch a ton, so I don't know how common it is for the game, like, to the total points to be under 100. But I've seen games where, like, neither team has over 100 points. I feel like the ones I've seen usually end up around like 80 or 90. So to think that he got 100 just all by himself in one game is pretty crazy. The shot clock. That's kind of almost a tongue twister, but also kind of a trigger word. Shot clock. The shot clock was added to the NBA rules, I guess, in the 1954 to 1955 season. So, yeah, before that, no shot clock. After that, shot clock. Kobe Bryant apparently holds the record for the most missed shots by a single player, I guess. Which I guess is just indicative of the fact that he probably took way more shots than anyone else. Yeah, I don't know. Um, Apparently, Shaquille O'Neal only ever made one three-pointer. He only ever made one three-pointer in his whole career, um, according to the website. I don't know. I guess you do think of Shaquille O'Neal as like just dunking the ball. That's kind of what he was known for, right? I think, anyway. I'm not 100% sure. So I guess he wasn't really a three-pointer kind of guy. So that kind of makes sense. But at the same time, just one kind of seems kind of low. I don't know how long he was in the NBA for, though. Um, yeah. No player has ever worn the number 69 on their jersey. I found that one kind of interesting just because it's a bunch of guys, you know. You would think someone would do it. I don't know. Maybe there's a rule against it or something, or it's like frowned upon or something. I don't know. Or maybe no one just wants to be the guy with 69 on his jersey. I'm not sure. Game three of the 2020 finals was the least watched finals game. And I'm not sure like what the time frame is because it said that there was still like 5.8 million viewers or something like that for this game. And that still seems like kind of high. So like you would think that like some of the first games in the NBA ever played back in 1946 probably would have had fewer viewers than that, especially considering like TV hadn't even been invented yet. I don't think so. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the time frame is. Maybe it means the least watched game of the 21st century. So like from 2000 onward potentially or something. I'm not sure. But the website I was looking at said that that was the least watched finals game of all time. I guess because of COVID, because that was in 2020, so everything was shut down. Um, yeah, that's all the basketball facts that I wrote down. The facts, trivia, NBA, basketball. There you go. So I hope that that scratched the itch for that one person that suggested that. And if you're not into NBA and you watch this video anyway, thanks. I hope, you know, just listening to my voice was enough for you. Um, I mean, I make rambles a lot anyway, so this really isn't any different than that. It's just the subject matter is slightly different. But if you're just listening to my voice for the sake of listening to a voice, then you probably don't care what it is I'm talking about exactly. So in that case, I hope you enjoyed. Anyways, I don't know how long this video has been. It's probably been a little bit shorter, but unfortunately that's all of the facts that I wrote down. So that'll have to be it. But thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later.